Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be doing a full tutorial on this makeup look. So this is the look that I was wearing in my last video, my best of 2017, and there was an overwhelming amount of requests to do a tutorial on it. So I sat down today and I just did it's kind of like old school tutorial where I'm like actually talking about what I'm doing instead of talking about random stuff. So surprisingly, these tones have been very go-to for me lately, which is very not me.
You're a MAUVE's girl now.
I don't know if I'm a MAUVE's girl.
You're a MAUVE's girl.
Am I a MAUVE's girl now?
Yeah, you're changed.
I'm like 3 years too late to be a MAUVE's girl. So for this look, I'm gonna be using a few different shades, but I honestly think if you wanted to, you could use the Marvelous Mauves palette. I used one shade out here, but I think you could do this whole look using this palette. I went with what I did last time and I recreated that exactly, but if you have this palette, you could totally make this look. So yeah, a little spin on a smoky eye with a little smoky wing. So here we go. I've already primed my skin, prepped my skin. I got concealer on, I got a little bit of brow action going on. And we're gonna start with the eyeshadow, and I'm gonna prep the eyes using the Marc Jacobs Undercover Coconut Eye Primer. I already have some concealer up here in this area, but I like to do a little bit of just regular eyeshadow primer on the lid. But whatever primer you like best, do you. And then just set it with a little bit of the RCMA powder, just a sheer translucent setting powder. For the first transition shade, I'm gonna be using two different ones. I'm gonna start with Blur. This is from Melt Cosmetics. This is like you can use first or you can use after a couple steps. This just kind of melts everything together. And then I'm gonna go in with Creme Brulee from Makeup Geek. Is gonna be like my first actual transition color. It's a very medium, maybe like a little bit warmer toned, like a light beige color. This is just gonna warm it up and help blend the mauve tones into the rest of the eyeshadow. And I'm bringing it into the upper crease, inner corner right here. Keeps wanting to focus on my hand. And this is a fluffy blending brush, a Smith 232. So I'm just following the crease, and I'm gonna be V'ing it out a little bit, so probably about to like right here. And this is just gonna be like phase one of transition. So now I'm gonna go in with Creme Brulee, the middle shade, same brush, and just do it a little bit closer to the crease area. And bring it all the way to the inner corner too. All right, next I'm gonna start doing like the more purpley mauve tones, and I used the Marvelous Mauves palette from Dose of Colors. I used the center shade in here. If you have this palette, you could totally use this palette for this whole look, but I used just the middle shade in here. I don't know of any color that's really similar to this. It's like a very dusty, like almost pinky kind of purple. It has a little bit of pink in it. I was thinking Wild West from Makeup Geek would be a good dupe, which is this one, but it's a lot more brown. Surprisingly, I love this palette so much more than I thought I would. Every time I use it, I'm just like, yes, yes. All right, so I'm gonna be using the Smith 230 brush. This is like a round, fluffy blending brush. And I'm just gonna be basically dusting it all over the lid, starting on the outer edge and bringing it all the way into the inner corner. So it's starting out here and kind of just blending it towards the center. Just lightly buffing, blending. Lots of blending. So I wore this look for New Year's Eve, was the first time I did it, and it was funny because Desi and I were FaceTiming the entire time we did our makeup because I was kind of lonely, and I was like, oh, I wonder what she's up to. So we basically did our makeup together that night, just on the phone, but I feel like it helped guide me through the makeup look, you know? We got to consult each other on what we should be doing. When I get to the inner corner, this is always like my hardest spot for blending, so whenever I have most of the makeup off the brush, I'll start in like the outer crease, and then in little circles, I'll just bring it towards the inner corner right here and just kind of buff. Buff, buff, buff. Most of the time, I guess I have a light hand when I do makeup, but when I do this, I have like a really, really light hand. It's basically barely touching my eye. Lots of swirls. All right, so we've got the purpley mauve wash on the lid, and now I'm gonna be going in with the darker color that I add on top of that, which is Americano from Makeup Geek, one of my favorite Makeup Geek shadows. I'm actually gonna use this brush. This is a Luxie 231. This is one of my favorite like outer corner, outer V blending type brushes. All right, so I'm gonna be adding this color kind of like on the outer V, but I'm also gonna be bringing it slowly in, kind of like fading it towards the center of the eye. This is pretty much the darkest color I use besides in the lash line when I smoke it out. So I kind of put it on the outer V, and then I'm just gonna blend it towards the center. And then you come back in with the other Smith brush that I use on the mauve shade and just kind of blend it out a little bit here. And then I'm just gonna keep going, keep deepening it up. You can see it's getting a little bit darker, but I'm gonna keep going. I need a little Smith action. This is the 247. It's a little bit of a smaller blending brush. So now I'm starting, like when I get to the center, I'm starting to bring the Americano, but just kind of like down here more towards the lash line instead of the whole lid. This will start to make it look a little bit more cat eye. It's just a little. All right, so we have the eyeshadow pretty much done. It looks smoky, but it's not like as smoky as it's about to be once we do the liner. The liner is the most important step, as usual. Feeling a lot of pressure right now. I had to sit a certain way while filming this video so that way I could do the liner like right. For some reason, whenever I film videos, like eyeshadow tutorials, I hold things differently when I'm filming them, probably so that way it's not like, you know, like that, so you can actually see what's going on, but hopefully this turns out okay. Anyway, so for the liner, I am gonna be doing a gel liner. This is Inglot gel liner number 77, still a favorite of mine. I did put in a drop of Duraline. You can see that wet spot right there, which is this stuff. I've talked about this stuff for a really long time. This is like a really good re-wetting agent. So if you have like brow pomade or eyeliner gels, like stuff in a pot like that needs to get like rehydrated, that stuff is really good to use. Liner brush I'm gonna be using is a 317 wing liner brush from Zoeva. And lately when I've been doing my wing, I wanna say I take it more straight. So like literally just straight like all the way across. But for this particular look, it looks better with more of a lift to it. So I'm gonna be taking the wing like straight a little bit and then kind of more up. And I have to do it while my eye is like open. So I'm gonna do my best to do this on camera, okay? Right here. I think that was too high. I took it up too high. I went too far. All right, let's see. Maybe it's not so bad. So now I'm just gonna start filling it in. So the top part of the liner, it doesn't have to be like perfect because we're gonna smudge it out anyway with eyeshadow, but I still wanna get the vibe right. And I think I'm gonna take a makeup wipe and take some of that off because it just went up too far. It went too far. Damn, that thing went straight up to my eyebrow. Sure did. There was no stopping it. Yeah. There, took the tail off, and now I'm just gonna buff this out with my finger. Oh, I was gonna say, if I don't do the makeup wipe, because sometimes it can just be a little bit too risky if there's like too much eyeshadow, I'll take a flat brush like this with a little bit of makeup remover. Either I'll wipe it on a makeup wipe like this to where it moistens this a little bit, and then I'll just kind of go like strokes that way, kind of push it back basically. That helps out a lot, but that's only if I have like a lot more eyeshadow on. Like right here, I wasn't too worried about it, so I just kind of went in with the wipe. So now I'm gonna do the other eye. Whenever I'm doing wing liner like by myself, I swear I get into like the weirdest, most awkward position. I'm just sitting there looking like Mr. Burns trying to do my eyeliner. All right, so now it's time to smudge it out. And on my wings, this one still looks a lot thicker. I think it's because this eye, it curves down more, and this one goes like a little bit more like this. Just makes the wing look thicker on this side. But once you smudge out the shadow and put on the lashes, you can't tell as much. But that's something I always thought, like, I was like, my face is like hella crooked or something, but it's just this eye kind of is more round than the other one. So anyway, I'm just throwing that out there, just so you know. Just letting you know. All right, so now to smudge it out, I'm gonna be using black eyeshadow. This is Urban Decay Blackout. I've had this black eyeshadow forever. I love this black from Urban Decay. It's so nice, so dark and matte. And I'm gonna be using the Precise Smudger brush. This is from Smashbox, perfect for this. So I'm just gonna be packing it with black eyeshadow. I start just kind of on the actual wing, just to matten it, make it matte. And then I just start like, basically, just smudging. Why is it shiny? Shimmer's in there. Ew. So just really light-handed, small little circles here. Obviously you wanna make sure the liner is dry first before you start this. I'm only doing the eyeshadow smudging up to like the center of the eye. I'm gonna put liner directly on top of this glitter because I feel betrayed. So I'm just gonna smother it in some liner. You betray me, I cover you in Inglot, okay? When I did this look for New Year's Eve, I just did the wing. I had no intentions of smudging it out, but I just thought it looked kind of boring. I was like, it's kind of whatever. And so I was just like, you know what? Let me just smudge this out real quick and see what happens. And I ended up really, really liking it. All right, so we finished smoking it out, loving it, loving it. Living forward. And now I'm just gonna curl up over here. All right, so you throw some mascara on it one time. And then for lashes, whatever false lashes you choose to use, I just recommend using like flare lashes, just that way it complements the shape of the liner. Anything that gets like thicker and longer towards the outer edge, I think would look best. So the flared lashes I'm gonna be using today are from Blinking Beaute. This is the style Samantha. They're very flared, so they're gonna really complement the shape of the eyeshadow. The foundation I was wearing in my Best of 2017 video was my Tiny Nars foundation. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Fiji, and I did mix it with my Armani Luminous Silk, so I'm gonna be doing the same cocktail today. This foundation is not as concentrated as like the Jouer one, so you need more than that, but not as much as like the Armani one. So I'm just taking the Nars one and putting it where I want like the fullest coverage, what I like to call the foundation mask. I pumped out some of my Armani, the Luminous Silk, that shade number 6. You can tell it's quite a bit darker looking, but it's a lot less coverage. And I'm just gonna blend it with my Beauty Blender and then apply that to the rest of the face. We add a little bit more Armani just to bronze it up. This is like my liquid bronzer, basically. John was like, wow, that's a really glowy foundation. I did mix 2 luminous foundations, so here we are. All right, so now I'm gonna be highlighting my under eyes using, of course, my Shape Tape. This is the shade Light Medium from Tarte, and I'm gonna be adding in Light Neutral, which, by the way, check it out. You guys, I moved the sticker like you guys suggested to me because of how I store it in here, and it's worked out really great. Thank you so much for the tip. What's more satisfying, applying the highlighter or doing the foundation? I would say the highlighter. Well, I'm gonna have to say the highlight. So I told you guys how I love to mix foundations and make cocktails. Now I feel like I'm doing that with my under eye concealer, mixing different shades, using a lighter shade up higher and like a shade more similar to my foundation shade, like a little bit lower. Just getting really crazy, probably doing way too much. Sometimes what I even like to do is take a really bright color, like light sand. I'm just gonna put a little dot right here, you know?
Dot it up.
Just right in the center, not the whole thing, or not in the center, right on the inner corner. So not like the whole area, just like right here. So I feel like it just gives me something that I never knew I needed. Look at that. You see what I'm saying? Let me set. I gotta set first, John.
Set.
This is the RCMA powder. I like to bake right there on the inner corner and make my eyes look uncomfortably large. And then I set with just a brush on the rest of the area of the cheeks. A little fuego. You know, just doing exactly what I did in what I wore in my video, okay. Okay.
Little fuego or a lot of fuego?
Just a lot of fuego. So in my last video, I'm like 99% sure that I was wearing my Laura Geller Sunswept blush. It was a little bit more rosy, but today I'm gonna be using the NYX Away We Glow that I talked about in my 2017 favorites in Shimmer Thrill, not Summer Thrill, okay? Lightly put it on. And this brush, in case you guys are wondering, is such an old brush. I think I got it at IMATS like at least 4 years ago. It could be 5 years ago. It could be longer than that. It probably is like 5 years ago that I bought it. It's a Crown brush, IB 105. I have another one like this. It's a little bit bigger that used to be my favorite blush brush. It's a little bit more neutral than the Laura Geller one. I should probably stop putting it on now. I've been putting it on for a long time. And then to bronze, I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs. This is number 104 Tantastic Bronzer, a matte bronzer. I think I've used this like maybe once or twice. I haven't used it very much at all. I was still like really heavy into my Nars Laguna bronzer, but I know a lot of people love this one. But you see how glowy the foundation is? Do you see that? Do you see it? I feel like that applies better than the Nars one. The Nars one, I could put it on for like 15 minutes before I got a bronzer helmet. This one, I'm getting close. So do some inner corner contouring here. You can use a little bit of the Marc Jacobs bronzer and just bring it right in here. Ooh, this blush. And then I want to brighten up my under eyes even more because that's always the mood. This is the Manna Kadar C2 brightening powder. This stuff is super bright. Just put it here with like a fluffy brush. This is what I used to set under my eyes, and it just makes it just a little bit brighter. Now we're gonna wrap up the lower lash line. So I'm gonna be using my City Color CC EO2 with a little bit of the creme brulee from Makeup Geek. Starting with that on the lower lash line and kind of buffing it out all the way to the inner corner. It's gonna be like the first blending color. All right, next is the mauve shade from the Marvelous Mauves palette, and I'm just gonna go directly on top of that all the way to the inner corner. I mean, I typically don't bring eyeshadow when I smudge it on the lower lash line all the way to the inner corner. I usually kind of stop it like halfway, but this one's like a little bit more of a smoky vibe. And then I'm gonna use that same smudger brush that I used from Smashbox for the black eyeshadow for Americano on the lower lash line. Same with that one, I'm gonna take it all the way across. All right, so for the waterline, you can totally do black, make it very, very smoky, but I'm still on this dark gray liner from Smashbox. They're always on gel liner in the color Shark. Something about this color, it's just the perfect gray. I'm gonna use a smaller flat brush with some of the black eyeshadow and just add it right underneath the outer corner over here on the lower lash line. Just the outer corner. I'm gonna polish it off with some mascara on the lower lashes. Where are you, mascara? Using the e.l.f. Waterproof Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara in black. Gotta hit the Cupid's bow before you do the lip liner. Order of operations. So lip liner today is the Kat Von D Minor lip liner. It's turning into my favorite one right now for any type of nude lip. And then liquid lipstick, which is the color I was wearing in my last video, is from Ofra. This is the shade Manila, which I remember used to be like way too mauve for me, but here I am. What do you think of me now? This is my third time wearing this makeup look this week, and you know what? I'm still not mad at it, okay? I am not mad at it. The tones are giving it to me. So this is the finished makeup look, the fat, I don't know what I'm gonna call this, the fat wing, smoky wing, chubby wing, stupid fat wing. This is the finished look. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. If you guys try this out, please post it on Instagram or Twitter and tag me in it so that way I can see it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Okay. You'll see.
You ain't shit.
I ain't shit, okay?